All right. No countdown today or nothing, right into it here because we came in hot. Just had a fantastic Two Regular Guys podcast. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But my name is Aaron Montgomery. This is Erich Campbell. Eric, you ready for some more today on Education Friday?
Why not? I'm only hosting 3 shows. Why? Let's two or three. Let's go for it.
All right. Well, we're here. Let's do this. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and hello, Gusta. Appreciate you checking in. And so, Eric, we just had a blast talking to Jeff and Justin from Embroidery Nerds. Is it Embroidery Nerds?
No, the Embroidery Nerd. The
Nerds,
Embroidery
plural.
Nerd
Okay.
group.
Yep.
So it's not plural. But what I will say is, if you guys didn't catch it, you need to go back and check that out. If you're not Two Regular Guys listeners, go back and, number one, become Two Regular Guys listeners. But number 2, go back and check this one out because it was awesome, all about community and embroidery and 3D foam and everything. And by the way, they're going to do an awesome 3D foam webinar tomorrow that you should definitely check out too. So yeah, just great stuff. And awesome guys. So Justin and Jeff, just seriously great people and definitely part of the tribe here. So
definitely
awesome show. It
was a blast. All right, Sandy, hello. Appreciate you tuning in. Ramona, Education Friday. Cindy says, this is my 4th show for the morning. No work getting done. Yeah.
Dude, we gotta listen.
It's Friday, right?
Listen while you work. Get really good noise canceling or noise isolating earmuffs around the embroidery machine and then snake your earbuds into them. Trust me, I know what I know.
Yeah. And speaking of audio, as we came over to the half here, I realized that I had screwed up my audio, and the audio was coming off my camera, not off my microphone. I don't know how that got switched in the software.
That's all right, because I could not help but take over because I was too excited to talk to these guys. So poor Aaron got to ask like 2 questions while I just kept on barging in.
It was perfect. It was awesome. I sat and learned a lot. And, you know, the crazy part is you would think that someday I'm going to be able to embroider, you know, I mean, it's just osmosis has got to be.
The more you say that, the more I feel like I have to at least make you push the button on a machine one of these days and like make you do it. You're about 5 minutes away from getting stuck on a single head machine and hooping something up just so I can make sure that you're all right.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. It's
found
awesome.
one.
I love it. And Frank checking in again. Hello. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And Audrey
she's
Two Regular Guys listener.
Thank you.
Hand up. Nice. Rich, thank you for being here. Hello to you. And here is Jeff. We had a great time. Yes, we did have a great time
having you. That was great.
And Justin echoes that sentiment. We really appreciate them spending some time with us. I know that they're busy getting ready for the webinar tomorrow and have their own community that they build, and they take time to jump in here. And Jeff, I would love to talk to you for hours. So one of these days,
man, that's cool.
I'm more of a sit at a bar and enjoy chatting for hours kind of guy.
Yeah, as soon as we can do that again, I think it's coming up soon. Then we'll see. I have been told. Well, I watched their live last night over on the Embroidery Nerd, and they're like, "When are you coming on?" And I'm like, I'll come on whenever. So you may find some cross-pollination. I might show up over at the Embroidery Nerd. I've always wanted to be a little more formally, engaged over there. I'm usually very busy, but they're awesome guys, and I try and tune in wherever I can, and I'll probably pop up.
There you go.
See me over there. Why not? Yeah, Fort Worth ISS.
ISS, yep. Fort Worth Impressions Expo. That
currently on the schedule there. In fact, what people don't
September?
know.
I think that's
September. And what people don't know, Jeff's going to be on a panel, and the other person on the panel, it's me. So me and Jeff will be actually together and talking on the Madeira panel. That's something coming up. So we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully it'll all get ironed out. Contracts are still being signed, stuff like that. So but it really looks like we're going to be there in Fort Worth. And if so, you probably see me there too, kids. So happy to see everybody.
Cool. Awesome.
Fort Worth is a cool town too. I like Fort Worth. But
it's always fun. Richard, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So what do we want to talk about here today, guys? What questions are on your mind? We're going to keep talking embroidery. We're going to talk something else.
I wanted to bring something else up, though, because we actually were discussing this in our success group briefly. We didn't get to finish our conversation. Clubhouse, which is like an audio social media thing where you can start shows on Clubhouse. It was invite only, or it actually still is invite only.
Invite only, yeah.
But it was Apple only for a long time, iOS only. Now it got to Android. More people are on. I'm now on. I know I just got my Clubhouse invite, and I've been listening. It's kind of it's a real weird place. I thought it's kind of strange. I'm still kind of into it, but it's really interesting to see what's going on. It's like it is an audio drop-in chat room kind of format, but it's very much like the lives you do. Yeah, here Aaron's showing it on screen. But yeah, Clubhouse is kind of an interesting audio take on social media. I've been listening into some stuff where I usually listen to podcasts lately. I've listened to, instead of listening to some of my fun podcasts, I've been listening in on Clubhouses just to see what's going on over there. I haven't really figured out what the space is for yet or where it fits with us at all, but it is interesting. It's an interesting take, or at least it's interesting in that those of us who've been doing audio for a while kind of, this is interesting to see audio as a social interaction space. And it's very interesting to hear what's going on there.
Yeah. So because I actually, early on, Todd, in fact, Todd says Clubhouse old school party line.
Very much.
Todd shared it with me. And so I actually, borrowed my son's iPhone.
Sure.
That we actually don't let him use except for when he's anyhow. He uses his iPad all the time, but his iPhone, I borrowed his iPhone from him so I could check it out before it was an Android. And it was interesting because it was just growing at the time, but it wasn't. Now with all the Android users there, it has changed. It's pretty interesting to see the change. Like before, it was a lot of education, a lot of people kind of sharing information. They'd start a room and they'd have kind of this panel discussion about a topic and go from there. And now you're seeing more like, I don't know, some of the drama that comes with social media is popping up inside of there and stuff like that. But there's still some really good stuff here. I think what people have tried to kind of position themselves at, and I know, from my time inside of, there's a group called Podfest that does a big education for podcasters that I got to be a part of. And they were real big into Clubhouse too, as a way to promote their shows, to kind of position themselves as experts. I know a lot of people in the space that I work in with the Canfield success principles, the coaches and those types of folks are using it really heavily as a way to kind of introduce themselves to a wider audience. So it'll be interesting to see where it shakes out now that they're opening it up to more people. And, I think the invite only thing is kind of probably because I think they're also nervous that all of these other bigger, Facebook's coming out with their own version of
Twitter, also
Clubhouse,
Spaces,
Twitter, all that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see when it becomes, I think at first the cool part is you had to be an iPhone person and it was really limited on invites.
Sure.
Now every time I open up the app, I've got like 3 more invites to give out. I don't think it's hard to find an invite anymore. So
no, and actually I got my invite from Podfest as well. And I tuned into some of their podcasting stuff, which is interesting. I've tuned into some, some other stuff going on there. But the thing is, I'm finding that none of it is providing the kind of notification support that we get out of doing, Facebook Lives or, YouTube Lives. Because right now the problem I'm having, like a friend of the show, awesome guy, Jeremy Picker, did one in Twitter Spaces yesterday. I wanted to do it. I set myself my own alarm to do it, and I missed the time zone by accident, and so I didn't get to show up. I looked and there were no notifications. You go on Twitter, you have to find the button that's up at the top. It's only on the mobile version. I got ready at my computer thinking I could jump on Twitter and join on Spaces because I didn't check it out ahead of time. And I'm like, all right, turns out you have to be on mobile, so it's a weird phone interface thing only. And it kind of looks like it's stapled onto Twitter right now. Twitter Spaces is their answer to it. But, I think that it's interesting. But the problem with it is I feel like you almost have to have a captivated group of people who are okay with you going live and they're ready for your schedule. And it's a little harder to build there, in my opinion. I'm like, it's almost like you'd have to promote it somewhere else, bring it over there, and then you're using that to promote something else again that we're shooting ourselves back off of Clubhouse. I haven't yet gotten a hold of it. And I know somebody who really gets Clubhouse will trash me and say, I just don't get it. And you're right. For right now, you're right. I don't get it yet. It's not that I fully get audio. I get the party line aspect, the audio chat aspect, bringing people on stage. It's very much like lots of other live shows and Zoom calls I've seen, but audio only. And I get it, but I don't yet. The mechanics of how you notify people and do the shows, I'm not sold on yet, or at least it seems clunky right now. And that's with everybody. That's anybody who's doing this new audio only chat party line format.
Yeah. All right. Well, Gusta says I started with Service Oil and Tops. So not familiar with that, but Cindy says I'm looking forward to ISS Fort Worth. Yes, that should be a great show. Jay, hello. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you tuning in. And Jeff was wondering what Clubhouse was. Sandy says, I joined Clubhouse this week. Listen to one quote unquote class so far.
Yep.
And Gusta is downloading the app now. And here you go, Jeff.
I love this.
I'm old school Discord. Yes.
Yeah. And I keep thinking that's what I want to do.
Yeah. I've heard people
Discord server.
reference Clubhouse as the new Discord, actually.
Well, that was the thing, is I wanted to use Discord even for business, because I was kind of I have my gamer time I go in and out of. I don't usually have time for it. I used to be a gamer a long time ago, and Discord is one of those things where it's very much like old school gamer chat, but also you can have your own server, you can have your own communities, but there's also some text-based aspects to that. It's not just voice chat. And there is a show aspect to Clubhouse, because it's like there's a stage where people can be unmuted and talk to each other, and then there can be listeners who are all muted. There are ways to make it more show-like or more chat line-like as you go, but I just feel like the integration between it and anything else for me is not there yet. And it also could be that literally I just don't have all of my notifications on for the people I would want to listen to, and I'm not really engaged yet. I will say the Club Pod people seem to be doing some interesting stuff, and I'll be honest with you, the first thing I really listened to was stand-up comedians.
Yeah,
I love stand-up comedians.
Comedy on there,
and there was some good comedy on there. But that's one of those things where it's like, it was interesting. How I would bring that into the decoration space and make it useful, I'm still a little suspicious on. I think it'd be better for business talk than tech talk, but that's me. I don't know yet. I feel like there's something to it.
No, I think you're right there, and I think it'll be interesting to see how our industry kind of embraces it, where it's being embraced, because the challenge we have is, as decorators, we're in a visual space, right?
Very much.
Once we got done with the podcast with Jeff and Justin was showing us some kind of the behind the scenes stuff that we can't share, but it's that, oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. Right. He could describe it on Clubhouse, but what I get it, right. And that's the thing. And is how does that work?
I've done many of those where you're teaching digitizing audio only. Can you do it? Yes. Does it make sense? Yes. Is there a point at which you go, okay, now that we've done that, if you want to see what I'm doing, here's where that's available. There will be a moment for that. And like Jeff showing us those things live on camera, that was, you can't duplicate that there. I do fully get it. Plus, we have people who are working who are like, I can't join you right now. I'm working. I can't, because they're on a video platform where they're not listening in, and the audio only stuff is great for that. I think this is the one thing is, it feels like we can get there with it, but it also feels like you kind of have to be in a group. It almost feels more like a community thing. Whenever I have listened to the Clubhouses so far, the people who are in there, including the listeners to some degree, unless there's just a ton of them, seem to be people who are known to that community that is running it.
Yeah. And that's what I've noticed too. And in fact, I didn't really kind of tune in totally regularly, but I know at one point Printavo was doing kind of like a screen printers chat, and it was interesting. They shared some good information. Their crowd was a lot of cussing, so I kind of was like, okay. I mean, I'm not this prude, but it was just a little too much for me. So, that kind of thing. So I think you're right with that, Eric. It does kind of have this feel of a bunch of people that are already in a community together, kind of getting together to chat. Like you said, there's this stage thing. Quick pro tip that I learned recently was when you're in a room, if you like raise and lower your hand a bunch of times, that signifies that you're kind of clapping for whatever that person said. So
goes to saying, it's like the CB radio for truckers, right? It feels like that to agree. I'm not old enough to know CB radio aside from movies, like old movies, but yes, I feel like that's what it is. It's you jump on the party line and chat whenever you're there, but it seems like people are scheduling shows on it, but it still feels to me almost like you would just want to drop in on a chat. And of course, Jeff makes a good point here. Seeing how fast embroidery left floppy disks, not fast at all, it seems that we're a little slower to adapt. Yeah, maybe. And Todd says sometimes I feel like I'm too old for it. The people who I'm listening to, who I've listened to so far, are as old as me, if not older sometimes. And I would say I don't feel like I'm too old for it. I feel like I haven't figured out the use case. And I'm going to say this: Stalls was doing Clubhouse and left already. They were already in and back out. They were doing Clubhouse chats, and they're like, and the word from on high at Stalls was, hey guys, we really loved doing Clubhouse. It was a cool space and what have you, but we really need to look at what we're doing with our time. And for them, more traditional, if you want to say that, if social media is now traditional, which I think truthfully it is, the more traditional social media channels of broadcast were more efficient to them. And even though, people were text chatting back, not getting to talk, that might have been better for what they're doing. And once again, stalls, super visual, a lot of explanations, a lot of on-machine demos, that kind of stuff on Clubhouse. Now I'm lowering the lid on the press. That beep you heard, it's now done pressing. Now I'm cold peeling this. Yeah, I don't think that that's the way for that to go. Now, there's plenty of other stuff that's not visual we could talk about. We do right here, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know. I have to say, if I'm choosing all of my different platforms, it's low on my priority list right now for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's put it this way: if I had a commute, that's when I would be doing it. Because it's audio only, nobody could see me. I'd be putting it on and be like, all right, guys. And it's something that I've seen Jeff actually do. He sometimes has to wait, I believe, waiting for a kid in the parking lot, as adults often have to do. And he'll be like, 30 minutes, ask me anything. He'll get on live. And I'm like, I could see using Clubhouse for that. I don't know that I'd want to schedule a show on it yet.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Hello, Connie. I actually ST down to join here. So
I think she sat down. Sat down to join. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, definitely. So Wooten Design, Sheila, hello. Thanks for tuning in.
Absolutely.
All right, so we talked Clubhouse. What else do we want to talk about here, guys?
Yeah, what else do you want to talk
about? You guys have for us?
I mean, we had a great day talking about education, and I know you guys have a lot coming up, and you've been doing the new thing over at Club OSG. I know I've got the webinars plus webinars plus webinars coming up.
Yep, exactly.
There's plenty coming up.
All sorts of stuff there. Yeah, Jeff says, "Yep, Mondays piano lessons." There you go. I should have done that more. I used to go sit in the parking lot waiting for my son's volleyball practice. Man, I totally missed a great opportunity. But
you sure did.
Well, my wife was the one who did the lion's share of that driving opportunity.
Hey, she does a great show. She does her
Thankful
shows. She
Thursdays.
should be it's just Thankful Thursday. She should be jumping on doing her lives now too.
Yeah, there you go.
Now you know.
You can do Thankful Thursdays on Clubhouse. There you go. I like it.
That's my only thing I keep thinking of is like, how easy would it be for me and Aaron just to turn on our Clubhouse in the background while we're doing the half? Because you would just hear us talking. It wouldn't make much difference.
Yeah, I thought about that at first too when Todd and I were talking about it a little bit. The one, I guess, challenge there is, and I heard somebody the other day that was actually doing a Clubhouse room. I was listening in, and she was also then recording to her Rodecaster Pro, and then turning that into a podcast, an actual podcast that she launched on her channel. And I understood the terms of service to be that you weren't allowed to do things like that. So who knows?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Like all of the platforms out there, ultimately the platform does not belong to you, and they can change anything they want. The terms may not be favorable. So if you don't have your own space to go to, the platform can drop you at any time. I talked about this previously on the half of somebody who I followed who was on TikTok and had millions of followers. Dropped out. They killed her account. She came back after 2 days, but she lost everything she built for a year. And that stuff can happen to you on these platforms. So it's always worth thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
We actually do have a good question, as you brought in from Jeff. What are your predictions on trade show attendance in the upcoming year? This is a mixed bag, I would say, but at the same time, here's Terry Combs, who sent us pictures this morning of 70 people in one of Clay's Corel trainer classes.
Where did he send these pictures to? I haven't seen them yet.
To our shared hangouts for two regular guys. There was a picture on there, and maybe I could bring it up and I'll do the old school flash it on to you on the screen.
I think
maybe he says to me, I don't know, but yeah, we had a picture of that. I thought it was on there. Okay, well, maybe not.
It hurts my fefeelings, Terry, if you're listening.
I think Terry must have sent it to me somewhere else, and I don't know where it was, but we'll have to see. I could have sworn we had it there.
You look that up. Let me take my stab at it here.
Oh, he texted us, my friend. So here,
okay.
I can kind of show it I think I can show it to the screen with my camera in a super non. Okay, all you see is ring light. But there you are. This is 70 people in one of Clay's classes at GPX Serving. So out in Texas right now.
He has my old phone number in his phone, and I've asked him to change it multiple times, and I never get his text. So
I'll text you the pictures if you want them. But yeah, I'm getting texts from Terry Combs this morning who's saying, yeah, people are there, and the pre-show seminars were full, or at least as full as, if not more, than the usual seminars out in Texas. So, and it may not be in every state too. I'll say that hesitance to come out of the shell may be different in different states and different regions. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Now,
Texas has been open a minute.
My gut is telling me, just based on kind of knowledge of our industry for 20 plus years too.
Yeah.
I believe that people are going to be showing up. I know in talking to Scott from DAX, their registrations are actually up comparative to, the comparable time during their normal time frame in 2019. And I know they were having record years in 2019. So my guess is, and like you said, different areas are going to be different. I think the Midwest and Texas and places like that, I think are going to be, and like Jeff says here, people want to get out of their houses for sure. So if there's a possibility to do that, I think people are going to kind of be willing to kind of quote unquote take that risk a little bit. Sure. There could be other areas where it's less, maybe a show in a California or Northeast, or where they've had different. Because in talking to people from across the country, it's been interesting because I think people in different regions have had different experiences with what COVID has meant to them.
I know. New Mexico has been. People don't expect, because we're in the Southwest and we think of us as like Texas, like Arizona, and we're very much not. We had really strong lockdown, and we had some folks who really, and without, I don't want to politicize it because I don't think it's a political thing, but the rules were that you don't go in, and we had the lockdowns, and businesses weren't supposed to run. But at the same time, when businesses were having people come in individually, though it was supposed to be lockdown, you had people across the street calling the sheriff's office on them. So it's like there were different levels of how serious people took it. Yeah. And it was, we had earlier lockdowns than most. I mean, we also had a really high vaccine rate, and we're starting to open up pretty clean right now. We're about to go green everywhere. We have a color system, by the way. Only New Mexico has a color system for a reopening that had to stop at turquoise. But we are about to go green everywhere. And I think that the thing is now, it depends on where you are, what's going to happen, but we're still pretty locked down. We still have an outdoor mask mandate. We still have, and it's a very different experience here than Texas, and that's one state over. Let alone what might be from coast to coast or from country to country, frankly. I mean, it's very different. And I will say this, so far, I've heard lots of people who want to get back to the trade shows and fewer people who are just saying no outright. Because even though, even coming from New Mexico where it has been like that, and even I've been fairly cautious and waited to go out until I was vaccinated, and I'm probably going to be there too. I mean, I'm working out the way to get to all the shows too, and have already said, like I said, I was already pretty well signed up for September ISS. That one I thought was safer, but now that they're opening up further back, I'll probably be out. And I'm one of the more cautious people because of family and health stuff. Yeah.
Well, great question, Jeff. Thanks for sharing that. Absolutely. Yeah, I do think that trade shows are going to be pretty well attended. Sandy says, I can't wait to go to a trade show. So, totally. And Audrey makes a really good point here too. She says, this week I had 2 Zoom meetings at the same time, a machine class making an item and a separate dialogue meeting that needed my vote for a bylaw. Life is becoming overstimulated with technology. Yeah. And I think that might also drive this need to get back out, right? If I go out to a trade show and I'm out there, kind of face to face, I can shut off all that technology and still get the interaction and be like, oh, well, I was at a trade show, right? That's why I couldn't be on the 17 Zoom meetings that you've tried to schedule me into.
Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of folks who are either outright or closet introverts who are definitely looking at the upcoming trade show season with a little trepidation. It's like, oh, those were already a lot of contact and a lot of people. That was already a little stressful, but now it's going to be a lot of people with a lot of expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not going to lie and say there's not some of that going on, but I think Audrey's right. And yes, I know you might go, hey, Eric, you're on 3 shows today. How are you going to talk about overstimulating people with technology? Hey, you don't have to be there. I would like you to be there. But what I'll also say is a lot of us, we've been doing this so long. It was different for those of us, I think, who've been on shows for years to see everyone flood over to this kind of, to this platform. It's been a very different animal, I think, for us than maybe people who are just starting into it, because we kind of lived and breathed this stuff. But and even for us, I think it is overwhelming the number of offerings that are going on. And yes, I'm going to go with Jeff on this one here. That's why replays are so awesome. I think the cool thing to do is to curate what goes into your head. Seriously, curate what goes into your ears and what you want to spend time on, and don't worry about showing up to every live. We treasure the people who show up to the lives, but we also fully understand when even our regulars don't show up. I mean, that's, you guys have lives, we have lives.
I get super upset, Eric. I just like, come on. No, I'm kidding. I do not.
we might miss you, but
one person shows up. Heck, I'm just glad that you and I are sitting here chatting. Everybody else, I love having you here too. So
the half, I have to say, to some degree, like the half is for us too. The half is the time we just get to hang out and chat about stuff. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Awesome.
We love to have you here too. Like I said,
so Eric, the other thing I want to talk to you about, and if you guys have some other questions, please. Oh, there we go. Nope, we're going this one first. Which barbecue sauce is the best?
I don't know. I'm not the hugest barbecue guy. You're going to have to go first on this one.
Barbecue sauce? All right. My favorite barbecue sauce is a local St. Louis thing. There, and I just forgot the name of it. Sugar Fire. Sugar Fire is the barbecue place that started, and they have this St. Louis style sweet barbecue sauce. They call it sweet and smoky or something along those lines. And I could pretty much bathe in that. And or my joke that I like to use is, I could eat my shoe if it was covered in that barbecue sauce. So, there you go. That's my favorite. Sugar Fire from right here in St. Louis.
I'm not the guy to talk to on barbecue. I'll admit it. Because like I said, I'm much more willing to go to the Matanza and eat. I like New Mexican food. That's pretty much anything. I'm only craving New Mexican food ever. If it's not chili, I'm into it.
Yeah.
But like that, it's got to have chili on it. Though I will say we had a local place, Powdrell's. It was always awesome, and that's a local Albuquerque establishment, and it was good stuff. But but I'll eat Dickey's. I'll eat whatever.
Oh, there you go.
A Dickey's barbecue, which is a chain joint, and I know it's not good. And the Texas people and the Kansas people, everybody's coming for me now. But I'm not real picky. I'll have dry barbecue. I'll have sauce barbecue. I don't care. If the meat's nice, I'll have it. And right now I'm dieting like crazy. This is making me.
Yes, so
making me die. I'm gonna freak out.
Todd says white barbecue sauce, so that's his choice. All right, Ramona says I need Fridays. I have to be here. I have to have a reason to walk away for a while. There you go.
That's us too. I mean,
time off. So
we like to talk shop, and we still talk about our webinars and embroidery and sublimation. We talk about that stuff even on the half, but we do it on our own terms, and I think that's the kind of nice thing about this.
So Sheila says Texas here. She says she loves Dickey's. I
like it too. I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
it's all right.
Fine. It's good stuff. Marianne says, what's that? Matanza? Is that what you said?
You got it. Yeah, Matanza.
All right. Matanza in Berlin
in January.
There we go.
Matanzas are good. If you don't know what Matanza is, you better. I will say this: if you're someone who's an animal lover, maybe don't go to the Matanza, because that's whole pig. That's whole pig in a pit. And I will say that I go both directions on this one. I've spent time going full vegetarian, but I'm also from here, and so it's hard to turn down that.
There you go. And then this is from another St. Louisan here. Jerry agrees with Sugar Fire. They are fantastic. All right. Christine shared, there's a lot more happening online, and it does pay to pick and choose. Yes. You want to support your friends and people with good content, but sometimes you just have to opt out. You can't pay attention to everything. Yeah.
Also,
I agree. I mean, like Christine said, you want to support your friends and people that are putting out good content. But at the same time, I hope that, and I believe, because I feel this way, there is a lot going on. So if you don't show up, it's not going to hurt my feelings. It doesn't mean you support me any less. I will share it. I will put it out there, and if people have time, but I definitely don't make as many events as I would like, because I'm typically involved in creating them myself. So
it's a tough call. I like to be there for people's stuff, and I've even done paid events where, even though I really wanted to go and I even paid to go, I don't always get to go. And I would say it's hard, because those of us who are content creators want to support other content creators and be there and cheer each other on, but we don't always manage it. It's hard.
All right. Well, Eric, I want to real quick.
Yes.
I've just put a link in there about the Y Patch class, so you can go check that out. But please, Eric, I want you to. Here's what I want. I want you to give me the secret. Right? What's the secret sauce that everybody
secret
is going to
sauce.
get when they come to your understanding emblems class? I want to hear. Just give it away. Let's do it.
Just give it
Just
away.
give it
All
away
right.
now.
Here's it. I'm going to give it away right now. Here is the absolute secret to patches.
I'm ready. Go.
You ready?